Today we are talking about my Sephora savings event recommendations. One of my favorite videos to film all year. These are my top recommendations. Like the products that if you lose them, you go through them, I'm immediately repurchasing. They're kind of the essentials of my makeup bag. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys some fragrance favorites, skincare, and hair care. You guys have been asking about hair care. Then I'm also sharing with you guys my wish list because I have a pretty hefty cart. So I'm gonna walk you through like some of the new launches that I've been seeing that I also want to pick up. Definitely stay tuned to the end of the video for that. Sephora is also very kindly sponsoring this video, which is a dream. Let's get into some sale details before I get into some specifics. So beauty insiders get 30% off the entire Sephora collection from now through the 14th. So that's one of my favorite parts about the savings event because I feel like there are so many gems within the Sephora collection. Now through the 14th, Rouge members get 20% off their order. Starting on the 8th, VIBs get 15% off their order, and then insiders get 10% off their order on the 8th as well. If you're not a Beauty Inside member, I'm going to leave a link down below so that you can join. Everything is on sale that I'm talking about in today's video, so let us begin. Now we're going to talk about kind of more primer products here in a second, but I really wanted to call out a newer favorite of mine that I realized I hadn't talked to you guys about yet. So this is a Korean brand that recently launched to Sephora. So this is the Astura Atto Barrier 365. You guys know that I do have more dry skin. This winter, I would say, was one of the hardest winters on my skin yet. I dealt with a lot of dehydration, a lot of dryness. I tried so many moisturizers, and I have to tell you that this was the standout. And the reason I absolutely love it is more of a gel cream texture. I love one that it is in a squeeze tube, but it has this really lovely texture. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there are also these tiny little spheres of ceramides. You can't feel them on your skin, but this absolutely melts on your skin, gives incredible hydration as well as moisture, then just does not feel heavy on my skin for the amount of relief it brings my skin. Typically, when I am reaching for a moisturizer when my skin really needs it, I need something kind of richer. This product really brings incredible moisture while still being more of a medium weight lotion. I see a ton of different skin types getting along with this one. So, this is definitely one of my top recommendations. It is going to be something that I buy a backup of. It's just so gentle, nourishing. It's got the texture and then it actually has the performance. So it's really everything I look for. Again, we'll talk more about some other skincare favorites later in the video, but that moisturizer in particular really plays well with makeup. So I thought I would mention it at the beginning of the video, but let's go ahead and talk about like some quote unquote primers. You guys probably know that I'm a huge fan of using like a milky toner as a prep product, but if I want to go in with something like right before I do my makeup just to give my skin a kind of glow, sometimes I want more of like a glow lotion kind of product. I really am so picky with glowy lotion products. This one though absolutely nails it. The Say Glowy Super Gel, specifically in the shade Rose Glow. So I actually do like a lot of the other shades, but the reason I like this one is that when it goes onto my skin, I feel like it almost adds kind of look of coverage somehow, except there is no coverage, but because of the rose gold look, it kind of perfects my skin a little bit. It makes me look way less tired. If you're dealing with like sallowness, I feel like this really counteracts sallowness really beautifully. It's also not too greasy or heavy. It really kind of just melts and adds this I'm not wearing makeup kind of thing, but this really true radiance. I would skip foundation and just wear this on some like really natural days. It's very lovely. The other product I wanted to mention is the Merit Great Skin. So you guys know I've been a fan of this for a very long time, but I really like this for a specific reason. Lately, I've been finding that this is actually beautiful to mix into different foundation products. Obviously, you can wear it just like all over the skin, and it is this kind of biphase oil hybrid kind of product, but it works beautifully kind of mixed in as well. If you like kind of mixing your foundation, you really like almost like a very soft, radiant kind of look, I really highly recommend that one. I mean, I've loved it for a long time. I've almost always exclusively just used it on its own, but as a mix-in, there's definitely something to it. My everyday foundation skin tint product that I've been using, kind of on repeat all year, is the Ciele Tint and Protect. You know, I stopped using it for a while and I don't know why, but I'm so glad that I am not not wearing it anymore. Immediate blur, immediate like light to medium coverage, very easily gets to medium coverage. It has this gorgeous kind of serum-y texture. If you know like the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint, this is like the more cosmetically elegant version of that product in my opinion. This gives me more of a blur to my skin. It lasts really well. If I have dryness, if I have acne, if I have any like dry, dehydrated fine lines, this just smooths over everything in just this really lovely way. I think if you have more dry skin, if you have more mature skin, highly recommend this one, especially because I feel like there are so many skin tints on the market that market themselves as being really glowy, perfecting, great for dry skin. This one actually delivers absolutely beautiful. I wear the shade Light 3, and I will say that it takes to powder very well. So if you don't like a glowier finish, this pairs really beautifully with powder, which some glowier products don't. This, I think, gets along with powder beautifully. It's like just a really well-rounded makeup item. We are going to talk about some other Ciele favorites because they have just like stolen my heart as of recent. I have two other favorites for you guys. So if you want something long wear this summer, but you don't want it to look too makeup-y or too heavy on the skin, you still want something that's very thin and kind of sits very closely on the skin and doesn't feel like a lot of heavy product, I think that the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is still one of the best foundations out there. It photographs beautifully. Again, it sits so close on the skin. It offers this really beautiful blur, but it's a radiant kind of look, more from like that look of coming through the skin, not necessarily from a lot of dewy product. Because it's so thin, it's able to give you that look very quickly. I also love how buildable it is. It really builds on itself well and doesn't look heavy, cakey. I mean, it wears beautifully. Out of all of the long wear foundations in my collection, this is absolutely in top 3. A lot of different shades to choose from. My shade is the shade Mont Blanc. I have absolutely loved this one, and if I just need to not worry about my makeup, I want something, again, very long wearing, I don't want to have to touch up or anything like that, this is the one that I'll reach for. I think that if you do have more oily skin, I wouldn't be afraid of this one. I think there's a chance you would really love it. So leave me a comment down below if you're one of those people. I mean, I have dry skin and I love it, but I just feel like this could get along with so many different skin types. And finally, a cult classic. I'm not even gonna say it's a cult classic. I think it's just kind of a classic at this point. It's the IT Cosmetics CC cream. Now, this is an old one. I actually have a new one around here that I'm about to open. The reason I'm going back and recommending this one again is that recently I've been noticing that my skin has been changing. I just turned 32 and I've been noticing that my skin is just changing, and things that used to work for me don't always work for me now. I can't really imagine this never working for me. In fact, on days when I'm just not feeling like my skin is looking hydrated, it's not looking plump, there's kind of this sallowness to it, this is what I'm going for. It just gives you immediate coverage, hydration. Like if your skin is really doing poorly as far as dryness goes, even if you deal with dry pimples, which I do, this is literally the only like foundation product I would ever put on that. Whenever I'm finally recovered from a cold, but I have like still the very, very dry nose, I'm sure you guys know that feeling. This is literally like the only thing I would ever even imagine putting on. Again, it is just that really instant coverage, instant glow, instant hydration. It's slightly thicker than like the Ciele, but I think some of you that prefer more of that traditional cream, CC cream kind of texture might actually like that about this. Also, it's better for travel, so it's just gonna depend on what you're looking for. This also takes to powder really well. All of these actually do, which is one thing I really love about them, is that they don't crackle up and cake up when you do set them, which I've been noticing as of recent, with my skin kind of changing. I've actually been liking a little bit more powder. We'll talk about my favorite in a second. Yeah, just an absolutely excellent one. Now, you all know how picky I am with concealers. These are my top 3. These are the ride or dies, the ones that I will consistently repurchase over and over and over and over. Let's first start off with, let's say you have more oily skin. You really want something a little bit more long wearing. You want something very thin on your skin. That is when I would recommend the Tower 28 Serum Swipe. This is a very close to the skin look. It really spreads very evenly and quite quickly on the skin. It has a really beautiful spread to it. It sets down, it's self-setting, and it is the most matte out of all the concealers we're talking about. Looks beautiful under the eyes, it looks beautiful on the face, and I think that this is more geared towards someone with slightly more combo to oily skin. I'm dry skinned, like I've mentioned, and I love it. But I think especially going into summer, it's really good to have a concealer that is not drying, but finish-wise it still looks a little bit toned down as far as like the finish itself. My recent favorite, and kind of the one I've been wearing the most honestly, is the Ciele Conceal and Protect. Now I can use either the shade 3 or 4, both work for me. It is so good. If you are a fan of like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, if that was ever a favorite of yours, this is like the more hydrating, creamier, slightly thicker version of that product. But thick in a really good way, in a way that really offers incredible coverage, really immediately. Does not exaggerate any of the hollowness that I have under the eyes, and it just offers this really bright, fresh kind of look. I just like that it gives me a lot of coverage very quickly without me having to necessarily like wait. So I think a lot of you guys know I apply concealer typically. I let it sit for a second to give it some more coverage and then blend. I don't really have to do that with the Ciele because the coverage is so intense. So I really like that about this. And I just love the hydration, the pigment, everything. It's just really, really good. And I don't think I can stress how picky I truly am with concealers. Like, there aren't a lot that I like. So the fact that Ciele has made it into my top 3, I think says a lot. And then finally we have the Kosas Revealer, which you guys know I've been talking about on my channel for literally years. This one I think is best for those of you that want a lot of radiance under the eyes. You deal with a lot of dryness. This actually has caffeine in it. Actually, I believe the Tower 28 does too, but this is for folks that prefer more radiance under the eyes. You want something that feels really fresh and dewy, also does not exaggerate dryness, doesn't look heavy. Now, these concealers will crease a little bit, but I'm telling you, you need to prioritize the look of your skin, the quality of how it looks, rather than is this not going to crease? Because truly, most concealers will crease a little bit. If you really want that hydrated, dewy glow under the eyes and you want about a medium coverage, I would recommend the Kosas. So these are the top 3. Absolutely will always have these on hand. Let's talk about bronzer because I wanted to give you guys an option really for like every kind of need. These are my top 3 favorites as of late and also like all-time favorites. My most recent favorite is the Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Drops. This is a newer release that just absolutely kills it. It is what is on my cheeks today. And I think if you're into that very fresh kind of liquid bronzer look. You almost like to be able to see your skin through your bronzer a little bit. This is how natural that looks. I like to almost think of it like a cream liquid bronzer mixed with like a bronzer stain. It's a very, very interesting product. I love how compact it is. It's great for travel. I also like that I have the opportunity to mix this into other products because it is a liquid. You know, it will dry down a little bit faster, especially if you have like more of a matte base down, but it locks in. I don't actually find it really difficult to blend at all. And I just love the sculpt. I love the color. I have the lightest shade and it just has the most beautiful, beautiful tone. It actually reminds me of the fair shade from Makeup by Mario. So if you like that shade, I think there's a good chance that you would really, really like this one. Lasts really well on the skin. If you're someone that, you know, cream liquid bronzers, you are into them, but some of them just kind of look really heavy or feel like a lot of product, I feel like you might really enjoy that one. I think that one is going to be on repeat for me this summer. I think for something a little bit more intense, I would go with the Ciele liquid bronzer. So this is the Bronze and Protect Bronzing Concentrate. Now you can kind of mix this into products as well. That's how they market it, but I really like using this just as a liquid bronzer. It's a little bit darker, and there's only 2 shades. I do hope that they come out with more. But again, the tone is very, very good. You really don't need a lot. Again, like you don't need a lot if you're, at least if you're a skin tone closer to mine, but it lasts. It gives you this beautiful, dewy, sculpted, really beautiful look on the skin. I find that I love using that one kind of not necessarily to underpaint, but to kind of be the first layer of bronze. It just adds this all over really creamy bronzed glow. Again, works beautifully with the skin tint as well and the concealer. I mean, I think at this point, Ciele has a product in nearly every single step that I love. I don't know who's formulating over there. They are absolutely killing it. And I love it. It's just so, so good. However, if you are someone that just you like a powder bronzer, that's always going to be your thing. Makeup by Mario. Actually, let's just talk about both of these. There is a reason, one, why these are always sold out, because they are one of the only cream bronzer sticks that sticks where you put it. It gives you control. It gives you a long wear. And I truly think that folks, for me, truly, there aren't a lot of stick bronzers out there that do what this one does. I love the shade selection. One of the best launches from Makeup by Mario. And as far as like, if I had to recommend one stick bronzer, period, at Sephora, it would be this one. And as far as like true cream bronzers go, not like liquid bronzers, this is the #1 pick from me. So if you're someone you just like to swipe and go, you want something that's gonna last, you want it to be not like a super dewy finish, kind of like a middle of the road finish, this is incredible. I like the shade light for just like normal days, and then light medium is good for a little sculpt on me. And then again, the powder, this powder would look beautiful on any of the cream products that I just talked about. And that's how I usually use it. So you see how there's some hard pan? That's just because literally I'm taking like my like cream bronzer brush like directly in here, so it kind of developed hard pan, but so silky, it's buildable, it never looks choppy, and it does set, so it gives you a little bit more of a matte finish. Just the most realistic long wearing powder bronzer. You guys, I'm so picky with powder bronzers. There are a ton that I really don't like. I want one that's blurring. I want it to not be really heavy on the skin. These are so good. Really, absolutely fantastic. Now, as far as blush goes, I just have to give this one a huge shout out immediately because I can almost guarantee that these are going to sell out. It's the Sephora collection Blush and Glows. I told you guys that I wanted to pick this up. This is essentially, so you see how it has like this little sponge applicator it goes in? This has like almost a watercolor paint texture, and it just melts on the skin. It almost feels like a hybrid cream liquid blush with like a stain. Absolutely lovely texture. And this is the shade On the Bright Side. The fact that these are also 30% off, this is just one of those absolute steals of the Sephora savings event. So I wanted to give this one a mention like right at the beginning of this. You do need to shake it before you use it because it is that kind of like very thin watercolor texture. But if you are a fan of really thin layers of product, I mean, like this one with the Westman Atelier, you're gonna get like this most beautiful watercolor summer glow. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love this shade. If you are a terracotta shade person, you're gonna love that. But let's talk about what I'm wearing today. So I'm wearing the Merit Flush Balm in one of their newer shades, the shade Luciano. And I actually set it. I basically wanted to share with you guys like a duo that I'm going to be wearing on repeat this spring, which is again, the Merit Luciano shade. And then, because I love how dewy this is, it's very blendable, very quick, no makeup. Then I topped it with my Dior Coral blush for like that set, just to set everything in place. And it is the perfect coral duo. I mean, it's insane. You can also see how this has hard pan too because I use this as that setting product quite a lot. If you are not layering your powder blushes with like your creams, I would love for you guys to try that this summer and spring. It becomes a game changer, truly. This combo is just absolutely beautiful. Again, it's on my cheeks today. Absolutely fantastic. But you know that I also love the shade Rouge from Merit. That's like one of my favorite red blushes. So just depends on what you want to go for. Other blushes. Actually, I'll talk about this in a sec. The Patrick Ta Double Take Cream Blush. This is the shade She's the Moment. This is also in that kind of coral family. This is a little bit more fluorescent. In my wish list, I want to mention it now just in case I forget to on my wish list, he just released a new red shade. Should I do another red blush video? I want you guys to leave me a comment down below. I already did one, and just letting you guys know, I am just such a huge fan of red blush, and that is definitely not changing anytime soon. In fact, this is one of my favorites of all time, which is Dior Cherry. Like usually it's Merit Rouge set with a little Dior Cherry, and I have a red, gorgeous, like sun-kissed flush all day. It's just incredible. I think that these are, you know how these were like really hyped up? And then everyone's like, they have no pigment. These work as the most beautiful setting blush. The fact that they're so densely pressed, I think is actually what makes these so different because some blushes just have a lot of kickback. They just like look very stripy on the skin. These offer this like barely there veil that just warms up with your skin and really just pops a makeup look. I thought it might be helpful if I really showed you guys what I meant when I said like these can be worn on top of the cheeks just to give them a little bit of a pop. So I have a very sheer layer down of Say Spicy. Honestly, this has been featured in so many of my Sephora recommendations videos. Let me show you. So I'm gonna take Coral from Dior. And do you see how it brings that rosy coral pop right to where you put it? And it pops this area of the cheek in this really fresh way, but it's not a completely different blush look. This layers really well just to kind of add this brightened effect that it becomes so subtle. And that's why I like to look at these as like that kind of makeup artist brightened, almost like color corrected, that really nuanced kind of blush shade has become like my finishing touch signature blush finishing touch because it just brightens up any of the blushes that you already have on right onto like the apple of the cheek. It just really makes your face sing and it really brightens it up. I would say, you know, if you have a light warmer undertone, I would go with the shade Coral again. But if you have more of a deep skin tone, I would go with the Cherry shade. I would say even maybe go with NARS Exhibit A. But you're gonna take this into the pan and you just kind of press it right in. And you see how now it looks like I kind of have like this little touch of a sunburn. And again, that beautiful blur. It is like that kind of true polished looking formula. Even take some on the nose. You see how on the nose now it looks like I just have that little bit of sunburn? These formulas again and again and again give me that blur, give me that little pop wherever I put them. And that's the coral shade, and then that is the red shade, cherry, right there. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I have not tried a liquid highlight that is as good as these in a very long time. These are from Ciele. They're so unique. They're called the Glow and Protect. So I actually love the shade Piper. This is a little bit more pink, but the shade Penny's kind of this really pretty peachy shade that I almost use like all over the cheek for like this just dewy flush all over. This is beautiful. Like you can mix this in, you can use it under foundation, you can use it over. Think of this almost as like very similar to the texture of like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. It gives that kind of radiance, that really your skin but better radiance, but amped up in a way that just makes your skin look like it's absolutely beaming and glowing, not in a sparkle way, but in that true light reflected dewy way. Actually, I was thinking of picking up one of the new balm highlighters from House Labs, but I almost feel like these get along so well in my routine that I might actually not pick those up just because they just melt immediately in with your other products. So if you want that kind of balmy glazed flush, but you don't want something that's going to mess with your makeup, I think that these are also an incredible option. A lot of those balm highlights can do that. These are just, they're so easy to work with. I think, again, Ciele just absolutely killed it. Actually, I haven't done this yet, but one of these mixed in with their bronzing drops, oh my gosh, you would get like the most insane glossy bronzed effect. I might actually have to try that this week. I don't even know what I would do without this powder at this point. The Kosas Cloud Set. So they actually just released the loose version. The loose version, I'm gonna say, is for more like super blurry, perfected makeup. Admittedly, I don't think that this is going to be one that I'm going to reach for all of the time, but for very, very perfected makeup, I would probably reach for this. For everyday, as like the powder, I'm using the Kosas Cloud Set because it is so airy, light on the skin. If you have dry skin and powder just looks bad on you, it just cakes up, it looks heavy. This sets the makeup without necessarily taking away your glow. It is just the most finely, finely milled powder that, again, has been really densely pressed so that when you pick up the product with a brush, it also, you're not getting a ton and then putting on a ton of product. So this, way more user-friendly than like a loose powder as well. So I think that it's just one of the absolute best powders out there. And if you are someone that you're like, I know I want to use a powder, I like to take down shine here and there, but a lot of powders look heavy or I feel like I'm over applying them, please check this one out. Very good. Now, as far as the eyes go, I'm actually wearing two of these new Ilia eye stylists today. So I'm wearing all over the eyes the shade Adore, a cool kind of like taupey brown that I absolutely love. And then the shade Venetian on top, which is more of like a pinky kind of champagne. That's Adore and that's Venetian. They also have matte shades as well, but I think these are going to work really well for folks that want like a really glimmery look, but you just find that like your makeup slides off your eyelids really quickly. These are definitely more long wearing. I just wanted to give a quick mention of these because I have been trying them out, but I'll be honest, like when I was getting ready for this video, I put these on and I was like, oh, that looks really pretty. What do you think I added on top, guys? It almost felt incomplete without Space Cowboy. And I did pick up Diamond Dog from the new line. It's really lovely, but I think what I'm starting to realize is that Space Cowboy is my MVP because it's so translucent, because it can be layered with so many different products. And honestly, I think that this mixes so well with so many different things that it becomes the one that I'm just always reaching for. Some products are really pretty, but they're not as versatile. I feel like this mixed with the palette I'm about to talk about, you can get literally endless amounts of wet looking eyeshadows because you already have a wet topper. Like this is really all you need. Now I will talk about some other eyeshadows in a second, but I did want to mention that this is one of my most used eyeshadow palettes of all time. I did use it for my winged liner today. So the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette, it's just iconic. You get essentially all of these powders and they're like putty cream counterparts. So you can really mix and match and use them to kind of set each other. The mattes are beautiful. The color story is incredible for neutrals. It is one of those, like, you just get a ton of use out of it. I have used this so long. I've barely made a dent in it. Like, this is something I'm reaching for at least once a week. So I don't even know how that's possible. You're gonna have this for a long time and you're gonna get a ton of use out of it. Also, you can pop these out. So I think this summer I'm gonna do a little mini palette with this and then take it with me when I travel. Because like, why wouldn't you? It's just so easy to pop them out. Highly, highly recommend this one. Just absolutely stunning. I wanted to mention two more eyeshadows because I feel like honestly these three like one and dones are the ones I'm reaching for the most. And I know they're not the most flashy new products out there, but for me, and I truly believe this, you guys know this is how I run my channel, I am about the best of the best, not necessarily the newest of the new. Merit Solo Shadow. I love the shade Vachetta. This is one of my favorites. This is a little bit more like yellow tone, but they have kind of an undertone for everyone. And I like these, I like using these as an eye base. So you're gonna take your brush in here, take it into the crease, and anything you put on top is just going to lock in. So for the summer, if you're someone that especially puts like concealer on the eyelids to prep, you're gonna need a cream eyeshadow like this just to make everything lock in, to last, to give just a beautiful soft definition on the eye. So if I'm wearing Space Cowboy, there's a good chance that in the crease is a Solo Shadow. They are very, very good. And you know, I was really excited about this Ilia shadow, but I just gotta tell you guys that I think if you have Hourglass Smoke, you might actually just like this more. So Hourglass Smoke, you know, there's a reason I think why a lot of brands cannot compete with this formula. It's because it is the most finely milled, wet, crystalline glitter that I've ever seen. It's like the most sophisticated, smooth texture, like true luxury. I'm gonna put a little bit on my hand so that you guys can see it. But do you see how reflective it is? And the glitters are so fine. It almost feels smooth in the finger. Just enough base pigment to give you that really pretty taupey shift, but then it truly will just make any look that much better. Like for those of you that want a really gorgeous eye look, that really show-stopping eye look, just want it to be really easy, Hourglass Smoke. Just absolutely incredible. Speaking of Hourglass, I did just want to mention that Hourglass Lucid is one of my favorite like glossy coral lip products ever. We'll talk about these in a second when I get into lip products. As far as like mascara, the lashes go, the brows, this is the trifecta. Actually, I don't know where my Anastasia Brow Wiz is, but that's my favorite brow pencil of all time. This is the trifecta though. So first you're gonna go in with your Shiseido eyelash curler. This just holds a curl, it does not tug. To be able to get a discount on such a fantastic makeup tool, I think it is just an absolutely must-have tool in my makeup bag. I actually don't really curl my eyelashes without it. Then I'm using my Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. This just gives lift. It gives drama, it gives volume without clumping, without really spidery lashes. It's really buildable. They also have a brown, so I love the brown and the black kind of equally actually. If you love more of a rubberized bristle and you really love that kind of fanned out eyelash look that still has enough definition, I highly, highly recommend this one. So I feel like it's a step up from like a no makeup mascara. It's so buildable that you just have so much control. You really get a really gorgeous lash look with this. One of my absolute favorites. I don't even know how many tubes I've gone through of this. The Rare Beauty, crap, what is this called? I think it's like Brow Harmony. So this is actually somehow a volumizing clear brow gel. I feel like it's almost a mix between a pomade and a gel, and it has these tiny little fibers in here. If you love a clear brow gel, you just tend to reach for a clear brow gel rather than like a colored pomade, but you find that they typically make your eyebrows look really like hairspray-y or like gelled down and sparse. This somehow gives you the volume. It's what is in my brows today. It gives you the volume back to your brows, and it just holds them up without them being really crunchy, flaky, and heavy. Just absolute favorite. Such an underrated Rare Beauty product. It is one of the best ones they've done. Okay, so for lip products, like I said, Hourglass basically has the perfect Your Lips But Better shade for literally anyone in the most plush, like fill in the lines of your lips kind of look. If you have wrinkles on your lips, if you have dry lips, if you have small lips, even if you don't have all of those things, this just gives you the most volumized look. It's more of just like a kind of minty smell. It is just the most glossy, plush product. And they just released like a bunch of new shades too. So I think they're slightly more pricey, but for me, completely worth the money. But if you can get a little money knocked off, that is always a good thing. Next up, we gotta talk about lip balm. Okay, so to heal your lips, the Clinique Moisture Surge Lip Balm. I have tried so many lip balms, so many. This is the best one. One, it comes in a tube, so you can actually use it without getting your fingers in there. It's way more sanitary. Two, it doesn't have an insanely glossy finish, which I actually think some of us don't want. It almost feels texturally like a petroleum jelly, but it actually has the like ceramides within the formula that just immediately nourish your lips. It's not heavy, it's not gloopy. It just works. It just works. So Moisture Surge Lip, highly, highly recommend this lip balm. I literally could not recommend it enough. But if you want a lip SPF, Jack Black. And they have so many different like flavors. So this is just the mint one. It's SPF 25. Most SPFs, as far as like lip products go, they taste so bad. Taste so bad. This does not. Daytime, Jack Black. Nighttime, or to kind of prep the lips, I go in with the Clinique. So these are the absolute best at Sephora. So good. I can't believe I also forgot to mention to you all that if you are looking for that like sheer tinted balmy lip product, my favorite one at Sephora is the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve. Like if you want a tint to your lip balm rather than just the clear, this is the shade Cocoa Cream. Love this applicator. And you can see this one just has a really beautiful, juicy texture. It is not sticky. It doesn't feel like a lip gloss going on the lips. This is way more lightweight than something like the Hourglass ones. Really, really balmy. It's like that true liquid lip balm treatment feel. And look at the way it like shears out and plumps up the lips. Like, look at that. As far as like the lip treatments or lip balms at Sephora, this one I think has the best formula. To round out makeup, if you don't already have a really good setting spray for this summer, this one from Charlotte Tilbury has been a go-to. I've bought it multiple times, have gone through so many different bottles. Actually, I don't think I put on any today. Do you see how fine that mist is? And it just slightly mattifies the skin. It's not overly drying. So it gives you that airbrushed look, but you're not going to sit there and feel like you're literally putting straight denatured alcohol on your skin. If you have summer weddings coming up, I think that this is kind of a must-have. When I went to Charleston for my friend's wedding and I forgot this, I went to Sephora like the day before the wedding and bought another one because I was like, there's no way I am showing up to that wedding without my Charlotte Tilbury. So Absolutely beautiful. Let's talk about fragrance favorites. I have quite a few here. One of my top recommendations of the entire, oh God, luckily that did not break. One of the first products that I am going to buy, like the minute that the Sephora savings event goes live, I'm filming this ahead of time. So again, it's already live, but you know, right now when I'm filming, it's not. Dead Cool Mochi Milk. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, it's so good. It is so good. If you love those little strawberry mochi ice creams, that's exactly what this smells like to me. It is the best strawberry kind of scent that I've ever smelt. It also does have that like rice milky thing going on. It is just lovely. It is so, so good, so fun, but it's not like decadent. You know, that milkiness is really light. It kind of makes everything a little bit more airy. But I definitely am getting like some strawberry, like melted strawberry ice cream kind of thing with that mochi rice note. It is absolutely beautiful. It is so, so good. Yeah, I only have the travel size, which is a bummer. I should have just bought the full size, but again, I'll just wait until the Sephora savings event and then just, you know, get the full size because it is definitely one of my favorite products that I've tried this year. However, Dead Cool Extra Milk, this layered, oh God, that is so good. The extra milk gives it like a little muskiness. If you don't know what extra milk is from Dead Cool, this is essentially like, this makes any fragrance you already have more milky and like creamy, and not in like a sweet way, and kind of like a milky musky way. It just takes it down a notch. If anything's too sharp, it softens it. It kind of creates your own signature fragrance if you pair it with anything. So if you are a fragrance lover, this is a beautiful product to have. I used to just have like the mini, just like the regular Dead Cool milk. Now that I've tried extra milk, I say just go with extra milk because extra milk has just better staying power. So that's what I would recommend to you guys. Lovely. Dead Cool is just one of my favorite brands. Also, Taunt. I've talked about Taunt forever. If you want kind of like, I'm gonna call it slightly sweet fragrance. Like you like a vanilla, but you don't want it to just be bam, vanilla. I would highly recommend this one. It has an edge, it has this coolness, it's like, and it has that kind of taunty kind of vibe to it. It's very flirty, also really warm and approachable on the skin. So I think there's kind of like this little coy dynamic of this fragrance. It's just so, so good. Also, I am going to link down below, I think Dead Cool also does like their discovery set of all of their fragrances. I will leave a link down below to that as well as everything I'm talking about. If you find any of my videos helpful or if I'm helping you guys out using any of my links, I do get a small commission from them. So thank you in advance to everyone that does do that in helping to support my channel. It truly means the world to me. But let's switch to Fleur because Fleur is another brand that I absolutely love. So Fleur has definitely been releasing some products. They actually released a lot of their new like body sprays. So this is their hair and body fragrance mist in vanilla smoke. It's really, really nice. If you like, you're not afraid of like a smoke, a vanilla-y kind of marshmallow thing, this is very, very good. Very hard for me to even be able to pick a favorite out of these because they're two of the best fragrances that I've ever smelled in my entire life. Now, I will say, if you're interested in Missing Person, Sephora does have a set right now where you can try out a bunch of fragrances and then you have a redeemable coupon that you can then get the full size. I would definitely recommend doing that or getting one of the value sets rather than just getting Missing Person because you do have that option with this one. Missing Person to me, and I've described this many times before, it is like that fresh out of the laundry towel smell with a really skin-light, sexy kind of thing. It's like fresh bed sheets that have been warmed up with people in them. If you enjoy white musk, if you really enjoy the musky, your skin but better, just like you truly smell incredible feel, this is the one. I consistently get compliments whenever I am wearing this. It is one of my favorites out there. period. Oh, I also love the body wash. Fleur Father Figure. It's woodsy, it's fresh and figgy. It also has that kind of masculine undertone, musky and warm on the skin. It is the best woody fragrance I've ever smelled. A little patchouli, a little sandalwood, but then there's a touch of vanilla that kind of mellows it all out. Then the fig just pops. It really just pops the whole fragrance. Absolutely incredible work. Last but certainly not least, Ciele Pistachio. This is just, if you are a sweet, sweet, sweet lover, this is just so fun. And sorry, it is a little bit gross, but it is just that fragrance that if I want to smell like that really creamy, marshmallowy, vanilla, slightly cotton candy, but still like decidedly more nutty than straight cotton candy, it is just so lovely. It smells absolutely divine. And I do truly feel like this is one of the most complimented fragrances that I've ever worn. Like whenever I wear this, someone's like, wait, you gotta tell me, what is that? Boyfriend loves this one. I love this one. If you're a gourmand person, you need to at least smell this. Like this is one of those, you gotta smell it. Everyone should once. All right, let's talk about some hair care. Then we're gonna dive into skincare. The JVN Blowout Styling Milk. I just gotta, so this isn't, I haven't tried this one out for as long as some of the other hair care products, so I did want to mention that. However, I am so impressed by this that I just had to mention it to you guys. I actually think I'm probably going to pick up the travel size during the Sephora savings event because this is such a complete kind of hair care product that I want when I'm traveling. So this is essentially like a cream milk. It's not super creamy, which I actually like. It feels really lightweight in the hair. So you put this into your hair before you blow out your hair. So I gave myself a blowout yesterday. This holds, really holds your curls. By the way, I just did like round brushing, so this isn't like from a curling iron. If I had like used a curling iron with that, I have a feeling like I would still have like spirals in my hair. It really locks in any style that you do. It's really good at like defrizzing the hair. To me, it's almost like a milky mousse. If you are a fan of doing a blowout, but you want a really, really touchable hairstyle, that is the one. Does not weigh down my hair at all. And you guys know I am such a huge person. When it comes to textures of products in my hair, I do not like anything really thick. I don't want it to weigh down my hair and make it feel greasy. This does not do that at all. In fact, I used a pump and a half for literally my entire head of hair, and I feel like I could have even used more if I wanted to. I think I needed to, but you know, it says like between a pump and 2 pumps. I wanted to be conservative because, you know, I was like, I don't know what this is gonna be like. I am so impressed by that product. Also, they have like a hair gloss as well that I need to try like immediately. I was so impressed by that product that I kind of wanted to give it a shout out because I feel like my blowouts, I feel like, you know, the best blowouts I ever have are like when I'm, you know, in the salon. She just is better at it, of course. However, I feel like this is one of the best blowouts I've ever done on myself, and I haven't really changed much except for that. But I do have to give a shout out to one other product that is really good for smoothing. By the way, this is a heat protectant as well, so you're getting heat protection when you use this. I picked up a travel size of this already because I just wanted to have this. It's the Amika the Wizard. So this is their silicone-free detangling primer. This also gives heat protection, but what I love about this is it gives you a silkiness. If you are like doing round brushing, you really need to make sure your hair is smooth and there's not a lot of resistance because you don't want to create a lot of breakage. And honestly, you guys, the last time I went to get my hair cut, we talked about how my ends had just not been doing well. I truly believe it's because I was not using a kind of detangling product. The Amika one smells amazing. It is so lightweight. and it just brings this silkiness, kind of an essential product, I feel like, for the summer. Like, if I just want to air dry my hair, you want to put a little something in your hair. This is going to be what I put in my hair. Also, I will say JVN also has their like air dry cream that I kind of want to try, because I haven't air dried my hair in like a few weeks and I really want to do that next time I wash my hair. Look at me, like I've been so into hair care recently. It's been really fun for me. This is not a new favorite. It's just one that I stopped using for a while. Then I picked it back up and I was like, yeah, I should have just stuck with this because it is so, so good. If you have very coarse hair, or if you find your like, if you just feel like your hair literally, you could brush it and then 15 minutes later, it's like completely knotted. Putting this in your ends like any day of the week is great, but ahead of doing a blowout is essential. This is so freaking good. I just love it. And now that I have this one, I kind of just want the big one so that I can just put this in my travel makeup bag, which, by the way, I will tell you guys, now's a really good time to stock up on travel size stuff, because travel size stuff, we all know there's a markup there. So this is a good chance to like stock up on those travel sizes that you know and love ahead of like vacation time and traveling this summer. Or if you just want to try out a product, I feel like travel sizes are a great way to do that too. In fact, I think I actually have a Merit Great Skin travel size in the mail. The best dry shampoo out there. I mean, you can see how big this one is. The Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Advanced Clean. You want the Advanced Clean because it's just better, even better than the original. It's just so lightweight. Here, I'll do this side of my head. And just show you. So you can see I just applied it. You just apply it. You're gonna let it sit for like, I don't know, 15 seconds, I think. It says like wait 30 seconds. I probably should have applied it like to the like under the roots, but you guys will get the vibe. A lot of dry shampoos feel gritty or they feel really drying and make my hair feel like straw. Like, I cannot deal with a very, very dry shampoo that feels like powder or feels like alcohol. This one does not do that, but it gives you volume right away. So are we seeing that? Did we just see that? I feel like it just gives that volume to the root, and my roots feel literally like they were just washed. And just, it gives incredible bounce. Actually, I kind of want to do the other side of my hair now. We're gonna do that as I tell you guys this story. So I actually put my younger sister onto this one, and she was mad at me. She was mad at me because she's like, now I can't go back. Like, I can't go back to my classic dry shampoos because this is so good, and it's just, it kind of ruins other dry shampoos for you. So I will give you guys that warning that like, there's a good chance that you're not going to want to go back to the other ones. So it's been about 30 seconds, maybe a little bit less, but are we seeing this? Are we seeing that volume? I feel like it literally looks like I just blow dried my hair. Incredible. Just so incredible. And speaking of blow drying, also, I'm gonna let my cat out of the room because now he's pissed off at me. You know, if you've been looking at the Dyson hair dryer, that is what I used to do my hair. I just used a round brush, those products that we talked about, and then this. Actually, I used a hair oil too, just to like smooth the ends. We'll talk about like 2 more products in a second. It really is a game changer. I just find that it doesn't use a ton of heat. I'm not like sweating by the time I'm done my hair. You know how like you're blow drying your hair and then it's just like, oh my gosh, by the end of it, you're just like, you're sweaty. It feels like your hair is getting frizzy because you're like sweating. This is powerful without it being like frying. I never feel like my hair's fried when I'm using the Dyson. It is an incredible tool, and I think that if you are interested in it, it is worth it in my opinion. For me, I can only really speak for me. 2 more favorites. Bumble and Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. This is my favorite hair oil for the ends of my hair because it just gives them a good amount of moisture without my hair feeling really greasy. So it's just good to kind of like nourish the ends a little bit, give them a little bit of a glossiness, especially like the very, very ends of my hair because these get dry the quickest. But again, it's not like a really heavy duty oil, which for me, again, I really don't like the feeling of a lot of heavy product in my hair because my hair is more voluminous. So when it feels like really weighed down at the roots, especially, then the rest of my hair feels like weird. And then also the Color Wow Dream Coat. I will say this will give you incredible shine, incredible humidity protection, but don't use it every single time you blow dry your hair. This lasts for quite a while, and I find that for me, it's more of like a every other week kind of product. What I think I'm going to start doing is like going with the JVN and then using this one on the off week. This doesn't necessarily have a ton of moisture. It gives your hair that like really glossy shine, but it doesn't necessarily have the moisture. This is a little bit more moisturizing. It has a little bit more hold as well, but this is really good for maybe more sleek styles. So it just kind of depends on what you're going for. And then again, I think no matter which of these I'm going to use, I'm always going to be using this now. Like this is back fully in rotation on repeat. All right, skincare. So I did already mention my favorite moisturizer that we talked about from Astura, but I gotta tell you guys that the Tower 28 SOS mist, I mean, this one I think was in like my overnight bag. This one I just keep like in my bathroom. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I use the SOS mist at least once a day, and I use it for different reasons. So one, if for example, I brush my teeth, if my dog licks me, if my skin is very angry, if I am sweating and then I come inside, any time where I feel like my skin barrier could be compromised or I feel like I've gotten dirty in some way, this immediately eliminates acne-causing bacteria as well as bacteria that can lead to eczema flare-ups. So it's very lightweight. And the reason I love this one, I have used other like hypochlorous acid mists, but I love this one because the mist is very fine. So it's not gonna mess with your makeup if you're wearing makeup. I also can find it because it is bright orange. And also I just love Tower 28 in general, but very good. I always have it on hand. They also have travel sizes that I like throw in my purse because if you are traveling this summer and you're using like any public transportation, if you are getting on an airplane, oh my God, if I left my SOS mist before a flight, I would honestly be really, really bummed because I use that stuff constantly on flights and kind of in these high traffic kind of areas. The In Beauty Elastic Skin Firming and Plumping Serum. This has copper peptides in here, as well as vegan growth factors and phytomucin. So this has essentially like replaced my use of snail mucin. This for me is like the more active version of that. It's more soothing to me. I actually find that the copper peptides make my skin more resilient. Also, this is the second one that I've gone through. You actually can refill it. So this is like the bottle, you buy the refills and then you pop it right back in. This gives you this really plump, hydrated look. Like if you've used peptides before, you know how it kind of gives your skin that kind of resilient plumpness. This absolutely does that. And I love that it isn't like a true heavy active. You know, there are some brands that I feel like are putting a ton of peptides in, but they're also putting like 15 other actives in there as well that aren't really focused on just like damage, repair, plumping. It's just really easy to incorporate into any routine, and I've really seen the benefits from it. Now this is almost gone. This is the Dew Baptism Gentle Foaming Cleansing Gel. I wanted to recommend this one because I realized that now I have the fragranced one. There's also an unfragranced one, which is amazing. I actually love the fragrance though. Not gonna lie, it smells like really woodsy and nice. Yeah, the notes are lavender, citrus, amber, and pear. But either way, there's an option for anyone. This is very, very gentle. My skin never feels stripped from it. It's very glycerin based. So if you love a glycerin based cleanser, I just wanted to give this one a quick shout out because I have gone through almost the entire thing and my skin really, really enjoys it. Really good for dry skin. And it is finally time to talk about my wish list. So I'm going to walk you guys through the products that are currently in my Sephora cart. These are ones that just really have piqued my interest. The Glossier You Fleur. I have already smelled this, you guys, and it smells so good. I'm not even like a huge floral fragrance person, and yet it just has this beautiful airiness. It's floral, but it's really playful. It definitely feels like floral, but your skin, but better floral, kind of. You happen to smell like flowers rather than that's a floral fragrance, which feels like really, really hard to do. If you are interested in that fragrance, I feel like there's a good chance that you would like it. And if you are a huge floral person, I feel like it's almost like a must smell kind of thing. Oh my gosh, by the way, I forgot to mention, and these are in my cart as well, the Peace Out acne patches. If you have acne, these are kind of a must have for me. If you want an acne patch that also has actives in it. So that one does have a vitamin A, so it helps to kind of clear out the breakout a little bit. I think there's also tea tree oil, but either way, it just holds a lot. Holds a lot, we'll say that. And I feel like these kind of wimpy acne patches are out. If you have very deep cystic breakouts, I highly recommend those. Again, I already let you guys know I want the full size of Dead Cool Mochi Milk because, I mean, it's amazing. Definitely getting the full size of the Amika The Wizard primer as well. Oh, I forgot to mention the Caudalie body oil, the Fig body oil. I think it's their Glow oil. Love that one so much. So much. This is more of a recommendation. I don't actually need to restock on that one, but if you are a fan of fig scents, you're gonna love that one. It just has this prickly pear fig kind of thing. It's very, very good. And you can also use it in the hair too. The Kulfi Lassie Lip Staining Long Lasting Moisturizing Lip Oil. So I think this is something similar to the Rare Beauty lip oils, but I've heard incredible things about these. I am such a lip stain person that if this is a moisturizing lip stain, like kind of a jelly lip stain, then I am all in, which also brings me to the Totally Juicy lip tint from Sephora collection. Like, are we kidding? I need to try out one of these for you guys. I think I might get the shade Grapes for Dessert. I haven't decided yet, but these feel almost like a K-Beauty jelly lip tint kind of thing. And at 30% off, I feel like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be getting that. I've had a few people ask me about the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place, the new long wear concealer. You know, going into summer, we all want something maybe a touch more long wear. I'm interested, but you know, I already have my top 3 that I just talked about. So I might try it, I might not. It's one of those things. I have heard incredible things about the Ultraviolet Supreme sunscreen. It's like a primer sunscreen, like a sunscreen that looks really good under makeup. Let me know if you guys want me to try that because I've just heard incredible things about this one. That it almost has like a milky texture, which you guys know I love a milky texture. The Urban Decay 24/7 Glaze On Shimmer Liquids. They also have a Space Cowboy shade within this liquid formula. Let me know if you guys want me to try this one because I am interested in some of the shades. Sugar Twist is a shade that I'm kind of interested in and looks really, really lovely. The brand Ceremonia. So they have a guava perfume hair and body mist. They also have a mini version. I feel like I kind of want to try out that one. I think guava sounds really nice for the summer. It's like fruity and juicy. And I think that would pair really well with Father Figure from Fleur, which I already have. And there are some Sephora Favorites sets in here just because I wanted to make sure that I let you guys know about them. So the Sephora Favorites Mini Deluxe Fragrance Set, you essentially get any of these fragrances full size for $95 plus all of these samples. So if you are interested in any of those, it's just better off to go with this set. So there's Missing Person in here, Gucci Flora. There's a few different ones in here. So if you're interested in any of those, just get that. There's also the What's in My Bag set, which is a bunch of travel sizes for $52, but you get the discount. I feel like that is really nice to like throw these into a summer makeup bag. And these are also products that I really, really like. The Anastasia Brow Gel, I love. The Amika Perk Up Dry Shampoo. I don't quite love that one as much as the Living Proof, but it's still really nice. And you get this cute like little bag. So we'll see about that one. One that I'm definitely considering is the Makeup by Mario Mini Sculpt. because you get the cream bronzer and the blush. They're small, they're very compact. I feel like for my Europe trip, I could just wear that bronzer, wear that blush every day, and be out the door really fast. And those are two formulas that I absolutely love. So I am considering that at $30 with the discount. I feel like it's also a really good deal for that kind of formula. Like the formula itself is just really good. Again, the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions Double Take Cream Blush. So this new shade, She Left Me on Red, is like a vivid red shade. I love the idea of the cream red blush, but also the powder. Like, I get both. So it's almost like I get to try two different formulas for you guys. And also, I know that this is going to be a blush that lasts all day because that formula always lasts a long time. Again, we have that Dead Cool Discovery set that I wanted to let you guys know about. I think that that is so good. I'm interested in this mini prickly pear hair oil from Day. Have you guys tried this? Because I really like prickly pear. I really enjoy that note in my Caudalie oil. So if you guys have tried that, I want you guys to leave me a comment down below. The Living Proof High Shine High Gloss Treatment. You know, I do want to try out the JVN one, so maybe I'll try out that one first and then see how I like it before I try this one. But if you guys have tried this, please let me know because I feel like everyone that tries it gets like the glossiest hair of their life. I need some feedback on that one. The Oribe flat brush is back in stock. If you have ever looked at that product is literally never in stock. There's a chance that I try it. I do have another hairbrush that I really, really love, and I did spend a pretty penny on it, so I might wait, but I've just heard amazing things about the Oribe flat brush, so if you were interested in it, don't tell all your friends that it's back in stock before you get yours. And last but not least, Rare Beauty has just launched their Soft Pinch Matte Bouncy Blushes. These, I think, I did swatch the shade Grateful in person and it's really, really lovely. So if you got, I'm kind of on the fence about that one. And those were my recommendations for the Sephora savings event. I'm gonna leave links down below to all of my recommendations, my entire wish list, but leave me a comment down below with your wish list or even leave me comments with like any questions that you guys have because I really want you guys to be able to find the right products for you and the ones that are truly going to work the best for you. So leave me a comment down below if there are specific items that you're looking at, you're not sure about, or you just need some feedback. We can also all help each other out in the comments. But overall, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you again to Sephora for sponsoring the video, and I will see you guys in my next one.